I'm Rachel Belle, and this is Your Last Meal, the show where celebrities share stories about the foods they love most, and we dig into the history, culture, or science of those meals with experts from around the world. Today on the program, singer Don Richard.
He said he won't get with me cause I'm freaky. I pour the liquor up, I'm feeling litty. He a study boy with the big rollie. That mean he got the time to spin it on a baddie.
Dawn has been a solo artist for many years, but her career started in 2004 on the MTV show Making the Band 3, where she formed a girl group called Danity Kane. She's also an animator who's worked on projects with Adult Swim and the founder of Papa Ted's, a vegan, eco-conscious food truck in New Orleans. Back in the day, she was a cheerleader for the New Orleans Hornets, so Dawn's got range. My family's from New York, and in my head, men are Dawn and women are Dawn. Every time I read your name, I'm like, it's Dawn. Dawn is a New Orleans girl through and through. And today, we're going to learn about one of the city's favorite and oldest food traditions, the crawfish boil. That's coming up later in the show. But right now, my conversation with Don Richard. So you've been vegan for over a decade. Can you tell me the story of what prompted you to go vegan?
Yeah, my father was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, with cancer. And I was devastated. I'm very close to my father, and he's a very healthy man. And so I just did not understand how we got dealt that hand as a family. Living in LA, I had read that people were solving and curing a lot of their cancer through diet, holistic choices. And I knew my father wouldn't lean into cannabis. Like I knew he wouldn't lean into like those type of methods because they're very strict Christian, Catholic family. But the other part of that was the vegetables, the veggies, and that sort of thing. So I told my dad if he went vegan, I would do it with him. And my mom did it as well. And so we became a family to do that. And it changed not only his life, but mine. And I just never turned back after that. So after a while, it just became natural that when I tried to go back to meat, my body said, absolutely not. You won't do that. All the things that I love, like crawfish, which is one of my favorite things, I couldn't eat it. My body had gotten used to vegetables only, but it also, my dad's levels from his white blood cells to his red blood cells to his immune system, it just got better. And I couldn't go back after seeing the drastic change. My mom also was diagnosed as a pre-diabetic. She didn't have to take insulin, but when she went vegan, literally 2 months later, they said she'd never have to take insulin. So she now doesn't even have to deal with the reality of diabetes because of it.
Isn't it so interesting that we'll try anything else before diet because for whatever reasons, we have so many attachments to what we eat, but like we just try to pretend that has nothing to do with it. And we're literally just putting it inside of our bodies. It's this weird kind of detachment.
It's toxic. And especially in the South where the more gravy, the more butter, the more all the things, the better. But that also means the more artery issues and high cholesterol, and people don't realize the diet can save a lot of things before you even go to medicines.
Well, on a different note, with your veganism, one thing that you did was you posed naked for PETA. What was that experience like? Did they approach you? How did that all go down?
First of all, like, why am I posing naked? But okay, yes.
Like not Playboy, but PETA.
But PETA, that was the only way I was going to do it.
Yeah.
But if you know me, I'm always naked, so that's not very far-fetched. I'm like always just not even with clothes on. My mom would argue that's always been me. But yeah, PETA came to me. They had saw what I was doing. They heard my story. And the first thing I said was, I'm not getting naked for plants. And then I saw the cause and I read about what they were doing. And it felt good to be able to talk about why. I think my story was more important. And so, yeah, I was like, let's take these clothes off and let's tell the story of what it needs to be. So I was happy to do that. I didn't realize how much veganism would be not only for my dad, but it wound up being for me. And for my choice. And so I was so excited to do it. I think I was eating a strawberry naked. So like get into that life. I don't even know. Crazy time.
My mom is a naked mom. So like can relate to your lifestyle as well. Like I can picture my mom naked right now.
Good for her. Good for her.
Yeah, yeah. You've been a vegan for a while, but you didn't eat broccoli until you were 21 years old. Was it specifically broccoli, or were you someone who didn't grow up eating a lot of vegetables and made like a pretty big 180 change?
First of all, you know too many facts about me and it needs to stop. Second, um, yes, my mom would try and try and try, and I just didn't like the green. I did not like green at all. And then the show, when I left for making the band and we went to New York, there was no choice. I had to figure it out. A lot of the girls like sushi, and I had to fit in with this world that I did not even like, like grits, chicken, crawfish, that's my jam. But like broccoli and edamame and avocado and like these were things that were foreign to me. Even like really spinach. I didn't eat green. My mom would have to fight and peas was the devil. Yeah. And then after a while, it turned into something that I absolutely love. Like asparagus was one that I just could not understand. And then by like 24, I was like, oh man, this is my jam. Now everybody makes fun of me because when I'm around them, they're like, Dawn, what are you eating today? Grass. So now I'm the grass girl. So it's just funny how things change.
You have a vegan food truck, which I want to know the details about, but I'm curious, in New Orleans, in the South in general, is it harder to find vegan food or have things changed?
A great question. Yeah, New Orleans, they like their meat, they like their andouille sausage, and they like their seafood. So veganism is still pretty new in New Orleans. We have a beautiful community of people that are trying to change that. I'm happy to be among those, which is why I thought it was important to do a food truck. But I had some big rules about what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted the income to go directly to local only, which is why I didn't do a food truck anywhere but New Orleans. I knew I wanted my chefs to be women. That was important to me. I knew that I wanted the queer community involved. I knew that women chefs were oftentimes overlooked, specifically in New Orleans. Most times local artists, local chefs tend to get the secondary choice because it's a tourist place. So oftentimes people who come in, transplants, tend to get the better choice. That turned out very great for us. We are 75% queer and we are 100% women run. But bigger than that, I wanted to make a space for curators, for creatives, because artists eat horrible. We do not eat well because we're in the studio all the time. Our times are all over the place. And so we don't have an opportunity to meal prep oftentimes. So I wanted to create a creative space where you can eat vegan biscuit sandwiches, where you can get a little bit of soul, a little bit of Creole. It's all plant-based and it's all organic and sourced through local farmers. And then we do vegan organic snowballs. If you know New Orleans, snowballs are these shaved ice miracles. When it gets hot in New Orleans, we have these shaved ice and we do different flavors in the shaved ice. They can come with ice cream. They can come with cheesecake. For us, we do organic snowballs that are seasonal based off of what fruits are available and organic for the season. So anything from cotton candy grapes to organic strawberries, organic watermelon. We call it crazy in the jar. They're in these cannabis jars that are recycled that people send over after they're done with their 8-ounce cannabis jars. We send them in, we rewash them, and the snowballs are in those jars, and we serve them with metal straws that if people come back, they get discounts on their snowball. And in that space, we ask artists to come and paint with plant-based paint. So we pop up all around the city. If you see the pink mustache, it's called Papa Ted's, and it's named after my grandfather who died in Hurricane Katrina. If you see the pink mustache, you know we are popping up in your area. We'll have a DJ spinning. She is a woman. Her name is DJ Allie B. And she spins while artists come from all over the community to paint.
So much intentionality. This is amazing. That's amazing. I mean, really, I think what it shows is the idea that you can run a business right. There's this idea that, you can't pay people enough. Oh, we can't provide insurance, this, and that. But people like you and have made these choices and it works. How long have you been in business and it's working?
Yeah. And we did it over COVID. I had gotten kind of stuck in New Orleans with my mom. She had a hip replacement and nothing was going right with music because of COVID. And I had built this business plan, but I was like, if there's any time to start, I'll do it now. We blew up overnight. Mm-hmm. And again, I think that intentionality was a part of it. People needed jobs. I chose to pay them above minimum wage. I chose to do it out and fund it as best I could out of my own pocket to make sure that they felt valued and seen during a time when no one was being paid. So we started in 2019 and we have been rocking ever since. And we got a grant from Sierra's. She did a partnership with Capital One. We got a grant for that. And we're just moving and growing. And it's important for me because I know what it's like to be homeless. We lost everything in Katrina. I know what it's like for my city. And you have all these amazing people who visit. And then sometimes we get lost in the shuffle of it. So it's very important that I make sure the creatives, specifically the local creatives, know they're seen.
Yeah, I saw on your website, New Orleans' first eco-friendly sensory experience.
Our sandwiches are wrapped in repurposed, rewashed comic books. So all the comic paper that the comic stores throw away, we say, don't throw away, send it our way. Repurposed window panes to reused tables. So everything is like, again, intentional. Mm-hmm.
I love this, Dawn. I haven't been in New Orleans for a long time, and now I want to come just to go to your truck and have this experience.
Yes, we like it.
I will be there. I will be there. After the break, Dawn shares her last meal, something she hasn't eaten since becoming a vegan years and years ago. You are from Louisiana, born in New Orleans. Can you talk about how that influences the food that you eat? I mean, it's a big question. The food that you eat, the music that you do.
I mean, New Orleans isn't a city, it's a lifestyle. So let's start there. When you think about New Orleans, you immediately think about those things: food, culture, music, style, art. And I grew up in that. So surprisingly enough, I thought it was natural that all food tastes like New Orleans food. And I found out very quickly that is not the case. But I think it speaks to how we were colonized from Spanish to French colonization. And then also our indigenous and African cultures are already mixed in. We had a lot of Haitians come from Haiti to New Orleans. And then our Creole culture, Acadian culture, there is such a mix. That's pretty much our culture, right? We have all these different mixtures that create this beautiful kind of mixture of blended culture. And from that, you get insanely amazing food, you get insanely amazing art, and you get some of the most profound and incredibly talented musicians that come from it as well.
Do you remember the first time you tasted food outside of New Orleans and what you had?
Yeah, so funny enough, I played softball starting early. I was going to go to the Junior Olympics for softball. That was the dream, is to play in the Olympics for softball before music. The tournaments are out of town. So like the first time I went outside of New Orleans was like, the locals, still South, but like Florida, Kentucky, like all these places that are super strong on like softball culture. And I was like, wait, this Popeyes doesn't taste like the other Popeyes. Wait, this chicken not seasoned well. Even just asking for like boudin or asking for crawfish. Once you started getting out of the South, and now I'm not even out the South, but like past Atlanta, no one even could help you with a crawfish. I realized we were different immediately. So young, very young. I think I had to be like 5 or 6 where I was like, Mom, wait, the shrimp doesn't go with the grits? It's like, what's happening right now? Yeah.
Well, that's interesting that even chain restaurant food, that you could taste the difference between the Popeyes. I wonder what that's about.
Oh, our Popeyes is so better. Our Popeyes is so better. It's the seasoning. It's the batter. It's the way the crispy chicken. It's better. The seasoning, I think, is what sets us apart.
The big question of the show is, what would you choose for your last meal?
It'll always be, oh man, even though I don't eat meat anymore, I still dream of crawfish. A crawfish broil will forever be, I just miss, like I'll never do that to animals ever again. But if I had to go one more time to taste that crawfish broil in New Orleans form, where it's dripping off your fingers, you've got the seasoning falling off your lips, you maybe even find out you have the cut that you had on your hand that you didn't know you had, but because it's burning because of the lemon juice, I would go with that beautiful, beautiful culture with me. That'd be my last meal, but a good one, like a really good seasoned crawfish broil.
For people who've never experienced one, can you talk about all the food involved? What's the ritual?
Yes.
How does it all go down?
So if you're not seeing a silver big broil pot, do not engage. That's number one. Number two, true people know that when you are doing a crawfish broil, there are many different additives into the broil. So like anything from turkey necks to potatoes to corn, spicy corn. And I'm not talking about a corn that's like, it's not just sweet corn. It's corn that when you bite it, you couldn't use your nostril hair because of the heat and the spice packing in it. So good. The potatoes are also that spicy. You also need cayenne pepper. There are different seasonings that we use. It could be Tony, if you want to use Tony seasoning, or Zatarain's, either one. That meat, that turkey neck, that potato, that shrimp. And sometimes people will put shrimp with the crawfish to give a little bit of like diversity within the flavor. And then you got to get you a long, maybe like 5 to 6 foot long table and wrap it with either newspaper or garbage bags. And then you pour that whole crawfish onto that bad boy. And then you pick it up. And if you're a vet, it takes you one and twist. And that's all you need. You don't need to do if you're peeling consistently, you're not a veteran, and it's okay. We don't judge you. But normally you should be able to twist the tail, pull it out, get the head, pull with your teeth out the meat, and that's all you need. And that's all she wrote. And then you get to work.
How old were you when you started doing this? And who taught you how to eat it correctly?
Honestly, I don't even remember anyone teaching. It was something I knew. I don't know. I just grew up understanding that you weren't in New Orleans unless you knew how to peel. And I was, 5 years old. My grandmother and Papa Ted at their house. That was my first one during Mardi Gras specifically, because that's like the season for braid crawfish. So even if you're at the parades, you're normally smelling something being barbecued, or you're smelling crawfish in the air from people doing brawls. And it's so funny, in grocery stores too, you could probably smell the crawfish because they are also selling crawfish. So from your grocery stores to your corner stores, even your corner stores where they sell yakame. And yakame is a Vietnamese kind of like version of pho with noodles, but it's a New Orleans Creole version. It's called yakame. But if they're selling yakame in some of the Vietnamese corner stores, they're also selling your seafood as well.
I think the potatoes are one of the best parts because they just absorb all that flavor. Yeah. Have you found a way to do a vegan version? Because there are plenty of vegetables in there and you have your seasonings. Can you get close without the seafood and the turkey neck?
Well, yeah, you can make incredible sweet Creole corn and sweet Creole potato. Like, that's easy. And you can even call it a crawfish potato without the crawfish, because you can have the same kind of like heat and the way in which it dissolves in your mouth. That's all about where you cook. You don't need meat to do that. And I've lived quite well with Creole food and cooking, like vegan gumbo. I can do a vegan etouffee without meat because it's rice. And if you make a good roux, if you can get a good roux, you're fine.
Crawfish have been a part of Louisiana's culinary history since humans first pulled the little lobster-looking crustaceans out of swamps, rivers, bayous, and lakes.
Pre-1700s, before colonial times, Native American tribes like the Choctaw, the Homa, were some of the first. Interestingly, Choctaw, they were referred to as the crawfish people.
That's Dr. Zella Palmer, a New Orleans food historian, James Beard Award finalist, and chair and director of the Dillard University Ray Charles Program in African American Material Culture. She's based in New Orleans.
The crawfish are indigenous to this region, and they were the ones to use some of these simple boiling methods. Later, it became the sustainable food for a lot of the early settlers, enslaved Africans also used it, but it was still considered poor people's food. Mm-hmm. And then when the Acadians, which we know today as the Cajuns, arrived around 1755, they adapted their style of cooking to this mud bugs that we love so much.
Hundreds and hundreds of years later, people still have crawfish boils in their yards or pick up cooked and seasoned crawfish at seafood shops.
And I can't forget the Crawfish King, Scramuzza. He's the one who I think made crawfish commercially popular, who was such a character in New Orleans. He passed away, but he was one of the Sicilians whose family, came over. We have a large Sicilian population. We actually had the largest before New York at one time. And so Scramuzza was the Crawfish King, had a commercial, you know what I mean?
How you feel? I feel bad. Oh, take this crawfish good medicine. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. Seafood City is a very pretty down the road in St. Bernard. I just made up the song, you know. Everything is pretty down at Seafood City, down on Broad and St. Bernard. Stay without Scramuzza and you'll never be a loser. 1826 North Broad.
Did he have a seafood market?
He did. Absolutely. He was a New Orleans legend. Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining it like it's an old used car salesman ad, you know, like we're wheeling, we're dealing, you know, like throwing crawfish in the air, wearing his crown.
Yes.
Al Scramuzza, the Crawfish King, passed away last May at 97 years old. He opened his famous Seafood City shop in 1951 and ran it for 45 years. So if you came to Louisiana and you didn't know anybody, so you weren't going to go to someone's house, where would you tell people to go?
Some of my favorite places for crawfish is Castanets. I love Cajun seafood right there on under the bridge, you know, on Claiborne. Porgy's does a great job. If you come enough to New Orleans, then you'll definitely meet somebody who'll say, hey, I'm having there's a crawfish boil down the street. You know, why don't you come and join us? Especially during the beginning of crawfish season, there's crawfish boils everywhere. So you won't run out of crawfish boils.
New Orleans is one of the friendliest places, I think, in the country, that it would be hard for you not to get invited if you talk to enough people.
Indeed. And it's always good with a good a beet of beer. You know what I mean? I love to eat crawfish with strawberry abita. That's my thing.
What's that?
It's a strawberry lager. Mm-hmm. Abita is our local beer. Yes.
Ooh, yum. I've never had a strawberry beer and I'm a beer drinker. That sounds good.
Yes.
So if you went to a place like Castanet, are they going to put the newspaper down on the table and pour it out, or you just have a little plate?
You have a bag, a plastic bag.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. You have a plastic bag, and then you can ask for plastic gloves, you know? I mean, normally when they put out, you know, crawfish on a newspaper, it's for a special event. I mean, there's chain restaurants now, but, you know, I'm kind of old school. So I look forward to just a plastic bag, and if I'm lucky, some gloves.
Do you ever keep track of how many you eat?
Yeah, I can do 3 to 4 pounds. I could probably do 5 if I'm hungry. I mean, if, you know, God had me move someplace else 50 years from now, you know, if I would still like remember the taste of crawfish boil, you know, it's just something that you never forget.
When we come back, one of my favorite topics, Dawn and I bond over our shared love of animated food. You're so interesting. You just do so many things. And one of the things that I was struck by was that you're a big anime fan. Is it pronounced otaku?
I'm an otaku, yes. And it's basically like people who aren't Japanese who love anime. But yeah, I grew up loving it. Adult Swim was my hub. That was my place. And one of my dreams was to be able to work for them. And lo and behold, in 2015, I was able to work with them, sending my music. And then later, I taught myself to animate, then started animating with them, and then became a creative director where I was able to help other artists, specifically queer and Black, because Black animators tend to get overlooked as well in the industry. I was able to bring diverse animators to the station as a creative director to do their bumps. I grew up as the nerd, the blurred, the Black girl nerd that I was. I named the girl group, I named Danity Kane based off of a character I drew in high school that was an anime.
Oh, cool. There is a lot of food in anime, and some people watch just that genre. Is there anything that stands out to you?
It's so good. Yes.
Yeah, because I have a thing for cartoon food. I always say there is no pancake in real life that tastes as good as a cartoon pancake looks, with the pat of butter and the cascading syrup. Do you have any examples of like specific anime shows or movies or scenes, the food that stands out to you?
Yes. Oh, this is a good question. Well, cartoon food in general, I love, first of all, strawberry shortcake, a whole thing. Yeah. Like that cartoon made strawberry shortcake look fantastic. But beyond that, I grew up loving Proud Family and like Fat Albert, like the vintage cartoons and the food, just like when the families were a part of their tables and you saw the food, you were like, dang, I just wish my food looked as beautiful and glorious I don't know. I've never seen food look so pretty. I don't know if you saw the cartoon Bao.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
About the dumpling, and just that was beautiful. And it was done in a way that I thought was appreciative to the culture of their heritage and the way food was presented, but also the food looked beautiful. Like the love of like that relationship and how food played such a massive part, I thought was beautifully done. And that was more current. And though it wasn't an anime, I still thought it was done well.
One more question that's not necessarily food related. I read that you audited a finance class at the University of New Orleans so you could better manage your money. I think that's so smart. And I was wondering if that was connected with like having this business or if that was connected with being an artist and trying to figure out how to manage your money.
Again, you know way too many facts about me. I love this about you. Yes, I did that for my musical career because I was independent and I had just left mainstream and I was struggling to try to figure out what this model would look like. And I had high hopes because I come from mainstream. So I had high expectations about what I wanted to look like, but I didn't have the budget for the things that I wanted.
It's so smart. Years ago, I had Duff McKagan on the show from Guns N' Roses, and he did kind of the same thing, but he went and got a full MBA. I don't know if he's doing it anymore, but for a while, his whole thing was he went into business for trying to teach other musicians how to save their money because so many people just blow it. You know, like, and a lot of people grow up without anything. And as soon as they get money, it's just like cars and houses and clothes, and then it doesn't last.
Or you go into the industry hoping you get these things and the labels or whomever you're with doesn't pay you. And so then you come out of it and you're like, wait, I did all this work and I don't even know where my money is. Or you get there and you, like you said, you get all this money and nobody tells you how to save, or the fact that you don't have a union and there's no health care. So how do you figure that out? So all those things. I'm glad he did that. I don't know about me getting an MBA now. Maybe someday I'll do that because I still love to learn. But with the amount of jobs that I have, I don't know how much time I have in one day to do also an MBA as well. But so kudos to him.
And that was Dawn Richard's last meal. Bye, Dawn.
Hi, girl.
Dawn Richard's latest single is called A Flex. She has 5 critically acclaimed full-length albums, and her latest animation project, Little Stories, Big Echoes, Beads of Hope, has been officially selected for the Seattle International Film Festival. Make sure and pop by her vegan food truck, Papa Ted's, next time you're in New Orleans. Thanks to food historian Dr. Zella Palmer. Your Last Meal is a product of Seattle's Cascade PBS. Go to cascadepbs.org to become a member or find a link in the show notes. For as little as $7 a month, you get on-demand access to all PBS programming, and you are supporting local public media. If you like this show and you have never left a review, please, please, please do it right now in your preferred podcast app. It's a free and easy way to support the show. This episode was produced by me and senior producer Sarah Bernard, who also mixed and mastered it. Original theme music by Prom Queen. I'm Rachel Belle, and this is Your Last Meal.